Welcome to Fox 54 News at 6 on Fox 54 Plus. I'm Kenesha Dees. Rock the South announced that the popular musical festival will be relocating to Decatur. And over in Decatur right now, a city council meeting is underway. One of the items on tonight's agenda brings investment and incentives between the city and Rock the South Music Festival. The event will be moving from Coleman to Decatur starting in 2026, next year. Fox 54's Gabe Glassman breaks down this resolution for us.
Well, in case you missed it, the Rock the South Music Festival will be making a move in 2026 from Coleman to Decatur. The event will be held in mid-June, and it is expected to bring in thousands of music lovers. But the city of Decatur could be making an investment of their own into the music festival. Resolution 25258 is on Monday night's agenda. City documents say Decatur seeks to invest in the annual Rock the South event as an incentive for its location to be moved and branded as Rock the South Decatur. This resolution is a 5-year deal between Decatur and RTS, with Decatur investing $5 million over the next 5 years. Records also say Decatur would receive 50% of generated parking revenues, 10% of camping fees would be collected by Rock the South and then paid to the city, and $50,000 would be paid each year to the city by Rock the South to use for infrastructure upgrades. The music festival will be held at the Fields in Decatur, 150 acres of land, which is owned by RTS's parent company, Peachtree Entertainment. Organizers say it gives them more space, allowing for leniency with not so favorable weather conditions, and gives them opportunities for more parking and expansion. The 2026 Rock the South lineup is expected to be released on Tuesday. In Decatur, Gabe Glassman, Fox 54 News.
Rock the South posted hours ago on social media that the 2026 lineup will be announced tomorrow morning, so stay up to date with the latest Rock the South news on fox54.com. And we have a look from Montesano. We could see cloudy skies above. It almost looks a little bit chillier. We'll see how weather is. It started off cloudy with some rain. Let's bring in Fox 54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Jordan, has the temperature dropped a little bit, or are we still a little warm?
Yeah, the temperatures are holding steady this evening. What we're going to continue to talk about for at least the next couple of hours, trust me, we are going to end up talking about the temperatures because they're going to change this week. But the immediate future brings about the talk of just a little bit of rain, and you kind of mentioned it, how we've had a little bit of rain through the course of the afternoon. We've had some cloud cover through the course of the day, and we're still talking about some of that activity this evening. Now, that activity is incredibly light in nature, hanging out across northwest Alabama, Lauderdale, Colbert, Franklin counties, trying to pick up on a little bit of rain up across southern Middle Tennessee. But again, this activity is incredibly light in nature, very similar to what we've seen through the course of the afternoon. Now, more widespread precipitation is eventually going to build into the Tennessee Valley. By the time we get to the later part of the morning, early into the afternoon on Tuesday, then we're going to be talking about some scattered showers and thunderstorms across the Tennessee Valley. And that activity is going to be associated with a cold front. This cold front's going to move through the area, and it's going to drop our temperatures as we head into the later part of the work week, and especially once we get to the weekend. We'll talk about it in a few minutes.
A weekend shooting in Montgomery left at least 2 people dead and a dozen more injured. And now Governor Kay Ivey has weighed in. She released a statement, and in that statement, Ivey said that what happened in the state's capital unacceptable, and that those involved in the shooting must be held accountable and prosecuted to the fullest. Ivey added that she would be using state resources to, quote, intervene in Montgomery for public safety efforts, including state troopers, saying, quote, I have asked my ALEA Secretary Hal Taylor to extend the patrol area for our Capitol troopers to include other key downtown areas. I will plan on asking the legislature to support additional resources to allow our state law enforcement presence to be more effective in downtown Montgomery. We will also continue to discuss how we can work better with Montgomery City and County law enforcement to ensure zero tolerance for crime in Montgomery, end quote. And at an event, Ivey made it clear that more options are being considered, including more use of state assets.
All state assets are being evaluated to see what we can do more to prevent such things happening in our capital city. It's just awful. No excuse for it, just absolutely awful.
And Senator Tommy Tuberville, who is running for governor next year, weighed in on social media as well. On X, Tuberville posted about the shooting, saying, quote, I am deeply disturbed by what took place in Alabama's capital city last night. Crime has become too common in Montgomery, and this cannot continue. It's past time for city leadership to take responsibility and put an end to this, end quote. Tuberville also added that he would be praying for the victims. A Nashville skydiving instructor fell to his death Saturday after a tandem jump went wrong. Two skydivers, the teacher and the student, were harnessed together and were sharing one parachute, but the two somehow got separated during a jump. The student was found okay, hanging in a tree with an open chute. The teacher's body, though, was found in a clearing a few miles away. Police say the FAA is now investigating the incident. Back here in Huntsville, two people were injured after a collision on I-565 last night. In a statement to FOX54, Himsey confirmed that a motorcyclist and his passenger were both injured after being struck by a car heading westbound near the Madison Boulevard exit of the interstate and taken to Huntsville Hospital. The motorcyclist is currently in stable condition, while the passenger remains in critical condition. And one person injured after being struck by a car Sunday night near Memorial Parkway. The Huntsville Police Department confirmed to FOX54 that a pedestrian was hit while walking across the on-ramp between Max Luther Drive and Oakwood Avenue. The pedestrian taken to Huntsville Hospital with injuries, and no charges are expected to be filed against the driver. You may think of weather alerts as tornado sirens, the forecasting at the National Weather Service, or even your local meteorologists. But local utility companies also have to keep alert. That's to make sure the lights and water stay on when the power grid is hit by weather-related damage. Today, Huntsville Utilities gave us an inside look at a brand new facility aimed at doing just that. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo takes us there.
Huntsville Utilities just opened the doors on a brand new operations center aimed at keeping the power on during severe weather, including tornadoes, flooding, and ice. It's 25,000 square feet of command center, complete with a data room and backup power generation. According to Huntsville Utilities, the goal is to coordinate a response to keep the power on when the weather is at its worst.
We can keep up with all of the electronic monitoring equipment that we have for our electric, water, and gas systems. And the people here can dispatch our crews to resolve issues proactively. We can track all of our vehicles and know how to operate the system in the most efficient way possible.
The new facility's command center is able to seat well over a dozen employees, all working around the clock. Wes Kelly with Huntsville Utilities says it brings everyone under one roof for a quick response when things go awry.
What this is able to do is to get all of our people in one place where we can have that command and control function centralized, protected, and put in the new technology necessary to take things to the next level.
Kelly adds that there's an impact on Redstone Arsenal, too. One of the largest employers in the Tennessee Valley, the Arsenal also gets its power through Huntsville Utilities. A knocked-out power grid could mean trouble for tens of thousands of employees.
Those systems on Redstone are also being operated through this facility. So it's important to us to build something that not only takes care of Huntsville, but takes care of the national security needs at Redstone.
Garrison Commander Aaron Ike tells us this new facility is critical, helping to keep the Arsenal's capabilities online.
We're very cognizant of the weather, particularly in the tornado seasons. So the critical missions that we have on the Arsenal, we need to ensure that those are ongoing and maintain those operations. And so Huntsville Utilities has a great operational capability to provide us that resiliency and redundancy for the Arsenal.
With the winter weather slowly rolling in over the next couple of months, Huntsville Utilities staff say they're ready for any event. In Huntsville, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
A pretty cool addition to Huntsville Utilities.
I kind of thought so. It was unique.
Yes, and from what I've gathered, it's essentially like a dispatch. They send people out to where those areas are affected that do not have power.
That's kind of what I gathered from it today too. They have that big central command center with the backup power and everything. So I guess when something does happen, I'm not sure if they get the calls or if somebody else with Huntsville Utilities does get the call, but they eventually see like, okay, power's out here, here, and here, and they can dispatch people accordingly and get things fixed promptly.
Oh, that's pretty neat. And the fact that there's military involvement is pretty interesting as well.
They pipe their power out to Redstone Arsenal, so if they're here and the power goes out, they've got to be able to do the work, get it done, so that Redstone Arsenal has the power that they need to be able to do their job. Because I'm not sure how many backup generators they might have, but they do get most of their power supply from Huntsville Utilities.
Yeah, well, it's important that the military has their power. It's very important. All right, thank you so much, Caleb,
Yes,
as
thank you.
always. Yes. All right, well, coming up, we see here that a popular restaurant, West End Grill, took to Facebook yesterday regarding the low health score they received. In the post, the restaurant stated it wanted to be transparent with their recent score, saying, quote, "We are not making excuses. We immediately got to work fixing everything." Weston told Fox 54 they are going through a thorough food safety training with staff. In addition to the training, their Facebook announcement says there is a change in management to oversee the daily cleaning and protocols of the facility. Customers commented on the post thanking the restaurant for their transparency, many still showing their understanding and support of the restaurant. Weston says they will be scheduling a follow-up inspection as soon as possible. Calling all college applicants. Alabama College Application Week began today, and it gives graduating seniors a chance to apply to a number of colleges for free. Participating universities include Alabama A&M University, Athens State University, UAH, UNA, and all universities in the University of Alabama system. If you want to see the full list of both four-year and two-year schools participating, go to FOX54.com. Fox 54 has some new traffic impact alerts for you as we enter the week. Huntsville Utilities will be closing part of Winchester Road tomorrow morning to do utilities work. The eastbound inside lane of Winchester Road from Normal Heights Circle to Hollow Road will be closed beginning at 7:30 a.m. tomorrow for service line work. The closure expected to last 4 to 6 hours while work takes place. You're asked to avoid the area and use alternative routes. Tomorrow in Decatur, drivers are being asked to avoid the intersection of 8th Street and 6th Avenue for utilities work. Crews will be replacing a power pole near the intersection, and work will be done in the Walgreens parking lot, leaving parts of 8th Street closed. Traffic will be directed by the Decatur Police Department, and drivers, you're asked to use caution if you need to go through the intersection. Tensions rising across the country after President Trump's deployment of National Guard troops across the country in different cities. We have a look. Festival of the Cranes returns to the River City back here in the Tennessee Valley. We have a look at what's in store for next year. For the second time in 2 days, a federal judge in Oregon delivered a blow to the president's effort to send National Guard troops into Portland. And this comes as protests have occurred in major cities pushing back against the deployment of the National Guard. CNN's Ivan Rodriguez has more.
Tensions are high in two Democrat-led cities as the Trump administration continues to step up its immigration enforcement efforts. Over the weekend, protests sparked in Chicago after President Donald Trump authorized 300 members of the Illinois National Guard to, quote, protect federal officers and assets. This comes over the objections of Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker.
If they're not going to focus on the worst of the worst, which is what the president said they were going to do, they need to get the heck out. What they ought to do is allow us to work with FBI, ATF, DEA, who are civilian law enforcement and understand how to target and take out the bad guys.
In Oregon Sunday, a Trump-appointed federal judge expanded on a more narrow ruling that prevented the Trump administration from sending Oregon National Guard troops to the state's largest city. This came after officials in Oregon and California objected in court to Trump reassigning federalized Guard troops in Los Angeles to Portland.
All you have to do is look at the television, turn on your television, read your newspapers. It's burning to the ground. The governor, the mayor, the politicians are petrified for their lives. And you have a judge like that, that judge ought to be ashamed of himself.
The temporary restraining order now blocks National Guard troops from anywhere in the country to Portland.
There's no need for military intervention in Oregon. There's no insurrection in Portland. There's no threat to national security. Oregon is our home. It is not a military target.
The Trump administration plans to appeal the judge's decision. I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Today, the state of Illinois filed a lawsuit against the White House to block the use of the National Guard in the state. Coming up, we learn about an opportunity to observe art in the form of quilting. We'll take you to this new exhibit in the Rocket City. And Jordan, how's weather?
Yeah, we're going to be quiet as we head into the later part of the evening, early into the overnight, but then a cold front is going to begin to draw its way closer to the Tennessee Valley, and that's going to bring some scattered showers and thunderstorms to the area. We'll talk about it in a few minutes.
Check this out. The Festival of the Cranes makes its return to Decatur this January, and it comes with some new changes. The festival and the Cook Museum announced today that as part of the event, free admission day for all will be held at the Cook Museum during the festival and will host the Wild About Whoppers event. The event will also have whopping crane viewing opportunities, live entertainment, and art from January 9th through the 11th.
Now, the Tennessee Valley's certified most accurate forecast from the FOX54 Weather Impact Team.
And we have a live look, or I believe we have a live look, but nonetheless a look from Kill Mountain. I could see little pink, bits of pink in the clouds. I like that.
Yes, just a couple of breaks in the cloud cover, allowing us to get to enjoy maybe small glimpses of the sunset. I know earlier we talked about the supermoon thing. I'm not big into astronomy, so I don't follow such things.
Gotcha.
I certainly hope nobody's trying to get a really good view of that tonight, because that's probably not going to happen.
Really? It's going to be cloudy, I'm guessing.
Yeah, a couple of breaks in the clouds might let a little bit of the moonlight through, but if you're hoping to like go capture a good photo, that is definitely not happening. Still trying to pick up on a little bit of rain back across northwest Alabama, Lauderdale, Colbert, down into Franklin County, trying to pick up on a little bit of rain up across southern Middle Tennessee, maybe just to the north and to the east of Fayetteville. This activity relatively light in nature, very similar to what we've seen through the course of the afternoon, where at times we had a little bit of drizzle across the Tennessee Valley, but we never really had anything particularly heavy. That could change a bit as we head into your Tuesday. By the time we get to the lunch hour, we're talking about a cold front back off to the west. Now, as that cold front draws its way to the east, we're going to bring about some scattered showers and thunderstorms to the Tennessee Valley. Now, this cold front not actually going to push its way through the area until Tuesday night or early Wednesday morning. We could begin to see some scattered showers and thunderstorms in time for the Tuesday morning commute. That activity would linger around across the Tennessee Valley as we head into the early part of the lunch hour, 12, 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We're talking about some scattered showers, a couple of isolated thunderstorms. Some of those thunderstorms could bring some pockets of heavier rain, which, if we get enough rain, could lead to a little bit of localized flash flooding, but that's definitely not going to be a widespread issue across the area. Futurecast tries to dry us out for the most part as we head into the evening, holding on to a little bit of rain back across northeast Alabama, and then maintaining the chance for a couple of isolated showers through the overnight early into your Wednesday morning. We get to the Wednesday morning commute, and Futurecast keeps us dry, albeit sitting under an overcast sky. I don't necessarily agree with this, because Futurecast is keeping us dry even as we head into Wednesday afternoon, and I'm going to hold on to the opportunity for a little bit of rain, and I'm also going to maintain the cloud cover a little bit more through Wednesday afternoon. It's not going to be until we get to Wednesday night, early into Thursday morning, that we really begin to lose the cloud cover. Just a small opportunity for rain on Thursday, but then from there, Friday through Monday, we're going to be dry across the area. We're not necessarily in a stage where we are desperate for precipitation. A couple of small areas are talking about moderate drought conditions, and then the rest of the Tennessee Valley, or a good chunk of the Tennessee Valley, talking about abnormally dry conditions. So we could use a little bit of rain, but we're certainly not in a stage yet where we are desperate for any bit of precipitation. Off to the Atlantic we go. We're talking about a system that has an 80% chance of further development over the next 7 days. Absolutely no indicators yet as to whether or not, if it does develop, it would have any sort of impact on the continental United States. Temperatures currently holding steady in the 70s. They're not going to move much more as we head into the overnight. I've got a low temperature right around 70 degrees. For the most part, quiet, but a little bit of drizzle certainly can't be ruled out. And then holding on to the chance for some rain for the couple of kids that are not on fall break this week. I believe a lot of the kids are on fall break, but some are still going to be getting on the school bus tomorrow morning. 72 at 9, 74 degrees by the time we get to 10 a.m. From there, I do think we'll climb into the lower 80s Tuesday afternoon. I've got a high temperature right around 83 degrees, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Have a good look at the next 7 days. 83 on Tuesday, 78 on Wednesday. Look at this, a pair of 75s both Thursday and Friday. At that point, we're a good 5 to 6 degrees below where we should be this time of year. The weekend looks beautiful. It's going to really be a fantastic October weekend across the Tennessee Valley. Plenty of sunshine, 78, 77, 79 degrees by the time we get to next Monday.
Check this out, a new exhibit opening up at the Harrison Brothers hardware store here in Huntsville. The American Signature Quilt will make its debut at 5 o'clock Thursday evening. The quilt highlights 170 original autographs of notable Americans who made a significant impact on the nation, stitched into the red, white, and blue Ohio Star pattern. The project started in 1989 when Lynn Jones and Dales Rhodes began a fundraising campaign to preserve Huntsville's historic Harrison Brothers hardware. Local artist Suzette Smith says walking through Harrison Brothers when she saw the quilt, says that she was in awe about it.
I was struck by the craftsmanship. I was struck by the quality that you know, in 2025 it looks this amazing, but also just the history in there. It's a moment in time. Those are signatures of people that some we're never going to see again.
Yeah, and the quilt contains signatures of prominent people like Neil Armstrong, Ronald Reagan, Thurgood Marshall, Dr. Seuss, Rosa Parks, and more. To see the full list of names, you can visit the exhibit October 9th through the 25th or visit the website at historichuntsville.org/the American Signature Quilt. What's going on in sports, Nick?
Canisius, the Deep South Solus rivalry back once again. We'll hear from Auburn head coach Hugh Freeze ahead of the Tigers' Top 10 Challenge. Next in sports.
Fox 54 Sports is sponsored by Alpha Insurance.
Fresh off a bye, Auburn now prepares for a top 10 opponent. Good evening and welcome into sports. The Tigers' first off week of the season probably couldn't have come at a better time. Auburn lost back-to-back games heading into it, so the team had time to self-scout and get off its feet. The bye also allowed Auburn to get an additional week to prepare for number 10 Georgia, who throttled Kentucky last week, by the way, while also setting the table for the second half of the year. After this week's Deep South oldest rivalry meeting, Auburn has a tough game versus Mizzou, but then 4 straight winnable games against Kentucky, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, and Mercer, meaning a second half run is still possible.
Exciting to be in what I kind of referred to as season 2 after the first bye week. Obviously wish we'd have gone into it in a little different circumstances, but I love the fact that there's so much still in front of us, and we can't wait to be back in Jordan-Hare. 17th straight sellout, which I think is a new record, and get to play a night game and a rivalry like this that dates back for years.
This weekend's game will be the 130th meeting in the Deep South's oldest rivalry, which is tied for the 7th longest rivalry in college football history. To find Auburn's last win, you have to go all the way back to November of 2017. The first matchup was in 1892. With the exception of stoppages during both World Wars, the game has been played every season for over 120 years. Kanisha?
Yeah, Nick, coming up tonight at 9, federal judges have blocked President Trump from moving National Guard units, and protesters are fighting back in Portland and Chicago. We'll have more details. Rock the South, back here in the Tennessee Valley, announced they are heading to Decatur in the city, voting tonight to seal the deal. Fox 54's Gabe Glassman has more. Government shutdown looks to stay the course. We have the latest from D.C. as both sides duke it out. All this and more tonight at 9. Mattel introducing Team Barbie, immortalizing 4 rugby stars in doll form ahead of International Day of the Girl. The players are England's Ellie Kildoon, U.S. Olympic medalist Ilona Mayer, and New Zealand's Portia Woodman-Wycliffe, and France's Nasira Condé. Only Mayer's Barbie will be for sale starting next year. Mattel created a brand new body sculpt for her. The company says it celebrates strength with a straighter, more athletic torso and visibly defined arms.